Hey everybody, this is Mark from Mark's Home Hobbies. Just a little update on the WLtoys K969 rear wheel drive modified. I was having some problems while I was tuning with the gearbox, and I've been having repeated problems with the gears, and seems like I'm just burning everything up, and the brushless motor doesn't help. I did some work on the front end too. I stripped the whole car down to try to find the problems. That's a little update on tuning and procedures for the car, kind of maintenance procedures, and things that you're going to want to know about this car if you're planning on doing this rear wheel drive segment. I'm going to try to make it so that when I do these videos you can gain a little insight into why people are doing the things they're doing and the types of setups that are involved in doing this type of drifting activity with a car, and what makes it good and what makes it bad. If you're looking to set up your car this way, you're probably noticing the steering angle. I'd say it's pretty good. I don't know. I'm not a professional drifter, nor do I know how to set up a drift car. Let me make that perfectly clear first. Your mileage may vary. My mileage is pretty good actually, so what I got on this car here is a bunch of homemade 3D printed parts to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish here. Maybe you can see how I've got it set up. I've got the tie rod right in there the normal way that the WLtoys come, except my tie rod is different. It has a locating pin over here on this side. I don't know why, but I just did it that way, so it could work either way, I suppose. If your servo is centered, you could use it on the other side if you want to. Doesn't really matter. Let's see, what all did I do here? Oh yeah, well, let me start off with the caster blocks up in there. I don't know if you can see those, but they're offset. So if you look at the side view of the car, you'll see that the caster is knocked back about 6 degrees. I have no way of really measuring that degree. It's just kind of a function of looking at the whole wheel circumference and kind of taking a rough guesstimate. So I'm going to assume that it's that. It's great enough for me to notice, so it's probably more than 1 or 2. Could be a little bit less than 6, could be 4 or 5, who knows. I'm going to say 6. Sounds good. The shock up here, these shocks are garbage. It binds every now and then, and if you put oil on it, the oil wears out, and it still binds just ever so slightly, because the positioning of the shock is such that when it goes up and down, the motion of the rod is more like this against the carrier here. It's more of an angle, a slight angle, and what happens is that wears a little soft spot in the top of the rod, and that spot becomes rougher and rougher and rougher as it contacts the aluminum over here and gets depolished. So I think I'm going to switch back to the original plastic shock on here, and also I've mounted the shock absorber things on here, and after I open the gearbox up and fix that up, I'm going to replace the rear single monoshock with the 2 normal shocks. I've also went over the rear end and kind of corrected some issues that were there. I don't have much camber going on these wheels. I figure about 1 degree. So I'm going to make special rods now that I have the secret sauce to make the ball end loops there that click right on. I can make the rod any length I want, so I'm going to go ahead and make the rods the proper length to get the camber just where I want it. And the front too, I'm going to go ahead and make a set of special ones that have the 6 degree knockback caster block, as well as the included length to get to the 2 degree camber on each wheel, which if you look this way you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it more from the front view of the car than you can from the top. You can see the wheels are kind of kiltered in just a wee taste, and that seems to be the way the pro guys are doing it, although they're using a more severe angle and they know what they're doing more than I do. But this is just an observation from what I see from other people's drift setups. So I hope that gives you a little insight. My setup in the front is basically the same. I've chopped away all the gearbox, except I chopped away the second tab for that caster mounting block, and that didn't happen purposely. That just happened because I got too close and that piece happened to shear off. So I just used some screws with some washers, and they seem to work pretty good. I don't know, my camera's not really getting a good clear focus, but you can see the screws with the washer and the nut on there, and that works pretty good. I don't have any problems with that section of the car, really. The front is the least of my concern. The shock is the only thing left to do on that front end. The back end, let's go into detail on that before we get too long on this video. If you notice this gear right here, and I'll try to get you a better shot. This gear moves all around. You see that? You see that play right there? Now, when you're talking a gear that's maybe around 1/8 of an inch, and you have 1/8 of an inch of play, that's not good. Okay? Any kind of play on that bearing at all with that little gear is going to cause the diff gear in here to become messed up quick. So, the problem lies in the bearing. The bearing right here, back here, is shot. The gear is good, was good anyways. You can see they get kind of out around there a little bit. I don't know how that ever happens, but I guess they get hot and melt a little bit and become a little bit deformed. But this is the original gear off the car, by the way. So it did last quite a long time, but when I switched over to the brushless systems, that kind of aided the motor in being able to tear up the diff gears inside of here because of all this lateral play in the bearing here. So I'm going to have to get me a new bearing for that before I run this car anymore, because that's a real problem right there. The back end is pretty good. It's pretty solid right now. It works pretty good. Everything else works real good, so I'm not going to worry about rebuilding that aspect of the car right yet. My main concern is the diff gear. I'm also looking at redesigning the transmission on this car so that it can use a single spur gear, much like the Kyosho Mini Z, because I like that system better. I have that on my 10th scale on my associated pan car, and I really like that system because it's 2 gears, very easy to set up, 1 screw for the diff, and it has the floating rear end like this. But I think that could be redesigned to use the cup and axle system just like on this car, so you could really have independent suspension with a motor pod in the back here if it was designed correctly. So I'm still gathering information and doing that, and I'll do another video once I get some more information on that. I want to thank all the new subscribers that have come on board. I see there's a few, and I'm getting closer to that 100. Only got 10 more to go before we're going to do that giveaway. Don't know what I'm going to give away, but I'm working up a really nice prize package. So if you're into these little cars, you're going to enjoy it. If you watch for any of my other videos, you probably wouldn't enjoy the prize package so much, but I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can make it so that it's enjoyable for different kind of viewers there. We'll see what happens. I'm also thinking about printing out some 3D printing some tires for this, but except not using PLA or ABS. Thinking about using PTFE or maybe HDPE. So those are some ideas that I had. I don't know what material these tires are made of, but they're hard, but they could be a little softer. Maybe nylon is what I'm looking for. I don't know, but you can get nylon, and I may try printing some other, compositions of tires just to see exactly what the effect is on the car. I work on this car whenever I get a chance, but we all have lives and stuff like that, so I don't always get a chance to make videos, but I promise I will be making more videos, and as the weather gets warmer, I'll be making more scrap runs with my electric bike, and I will also be working on some more guitars and doing some more luthiery work. That's a hard word to say. So if you're subscribing for that, don't be dismayed. I will be making some more videos about that. I have some more interesting topics that I want to bring into the mix too. Some other hobbies that I have been doing too. So, anyways, thanks for watching. If you watched this long, hope I didn't bore you to schmithereens there. But stick around and I'll give you the updates on this car as I do it. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. And it's Mark from Mark's Home Hobby saying see you in the next one.